Last week's video tells the tale of Hubei, one of China's many provinces. This week is Hebei's turn. The name sounds similar by no coincidence. Hubei is south of the river and Hebei is north of the river, both referring to their position to the Yellow River. How many countries can brag with nearly 80 million people? Well, there are some 200 countries in the world, depending on who you ask, and if Hebei would be independent, it would have the 20th largest population. Still, it doesn't have a lot of diversity, since 96% of these people identify as Han Chinese. Its geography, though, makes up for this lack of variety. Hebei is the only Chinese province with plateaus, mountains, hills, deserts, plains, lakes and seashores all packed neatly in this one place. Okay, I lied a bit, because there's actually quite a large diversity in Hebei. With such a large number of people, even small percentages turn out to be big numbers. So, there are actually 3.5 million minorities living in Hebei, like the Manchu, the Hui, Mongolians, Koreans, and 51 other nationalities. So, this is the province today. Now it's time to find out its backstory. Of course, if we go far enough back in time, we'll find that humans have lived in Hebei for many millennia. In fact, 700,000 years ago, humans were already walking the plains of Hebei. Wait, stop typing those mean comments. I know that our species is at most 300,000 years old, but Homo sapiens was just one of many human species. And the plains of Hebei were for a long time home to a subspecies of Homo erectus, the so-called pecking man. Those humans died out some 250,000 years ago and our species then took over. As to Homo sapiens, our story in Hebei is rooted in myths and legends. Fuxi, a Chinese legend and hero who created humanity, music, hunting, fishing, cooking and domestication, among other things, is said to have lived in the city of Xintai. The Yellow Emperor, a cosmic ruler credited with inventing the lunar calendar, the centralized state and even an early form of football, fought the second battle in the history of China, the legendary Battle of Zhuolu, here in Hebei. That was 4,500 years ago according to the stories, after which he built the Huaxia civilization, which evolved into the Han Chinese nation. Anyway, the facts say that the state of the Shang dynasty, the first of China's imperial dynasties, established their capital for a brief time in Xintai. Now that was 3,400 years ago, and since then countless battles were fought between warlords and emperors who established their own kingdoms, united China, dismembered and reunited it again. Frankly, Hebei's complicated and long history merits its own video. In recent times, as in the 14th century onward, Hebei was directly ruled by the capital Beijing, which was not a great deal when the Qing dynasty collapsed in 1912 and civil war engulfed the area. The Kuomintang, the Chinese Nationalist Party, ended the warlord era in 1928, moved the capital from Beijing to Nanjing, and Hebei was separated from the former capital and became a province on its own. Today, Hebei, along with Beijing and Tianjin, form the Jing-Jin-Li megalopolis, China's national capital region that encompasses no less than 110 million people. Shijiazhuang is the capital city of Hebei, a megacity of 11 million people. In 1947, it was captured by communist forces who made it the headquarters of the People's Liberation Army and the location of the party's Central Committee. So for the CCP, this city is a major memorial site. And a lot of development was focused on this city, with its population increasing 20-fold in just 6 decades. That much development, accompanied by countless new factories, had a devastating effect on the environment, so much so that in 2013, Shijiazhuang became one of the 10 most air-polluted cities in the world. Now, we're talking about some major industries here. Shijiazhuang is the medicine hub of China, a high-tech belt, chemical, machinery, textile and agricultural industry hub. That generates an annual GDP of nearly 600 billion euros, so there's a lot of money involved. But if you set aside the pollution, Shijiazhuang is actually a great city to explore, full of landmarks, temples, museums, ancient forts and parks. Just don't breathe too deeply, I guess. Let's exit the busy capital of Hebei to explore something you'll really enjoy. A section of the Great Wall of China, Jinshanling, crosses the province and offers one hell of a view. Jinshanling is part of the Ming Great Wall and was built in the late 16th century. This section is only 10 kilometers long, but it is absolutely breathtaking, with its 67 towers, 3 beacon towers and 5 passes crisscrossing the mountaintops to protect the lands from long-forgotten invaders. At the eastern end, you'll come to the first pass of the world, the Shanghai Pass. Shanghai Guan is one of the wall's major passes and the starting point of the eastern end of the Great Wall. Being the first barrier for guarding the frontier, it was known as the first pass under heaven, so apart from the epic view, there is an unbelievable amount of history related to this one pass alone. The Great Wall of China is a mighty impressive human construction, but it's not the only one found in Hebei. In this province, you will also find the longest artificial river in the world. With a total length of 1,776 kilometers, the Grand Canal links the Yellow and Yangtze rivers, and you can only describe it with superlatives. The oldest sections of the canal date all the way back to the 5th century BC, and the various sections were first connected in the 6th century AD. Today, the canal runs between Beijing in the north and Hangzhou in the south, but only a small section remains navigable. Nevertheless, all sections still exist and remain one of humanity's greatest constructions. Who doesn't want to experience the lifestyle of royalties? Unfortunately, very few of us will ever experience that life, but in Hebei you can catch a glimpse of that imperial glitter. The Chengde Mountain Resort used to be the summer palace of the Qing dynasty. When I say palace, I actually mean a large complex of palaces, temples, pagodas and gardens. Chengde was built starting from 1703 and it took 89 years to finish it. Emperors came here to escape the summer heat from Beijing and most spent their summers here. Therefore, the mountain resort was actually the second political center of China outside Beijing. The glamour? If you want to know who actually lived in Chengde, you sort of can. Because Hebei is the site for the Eastern and Western Qing tombs. The Eastern Qing tombs are a large imperial mausoleum complex where 5 emperors, 15 empresses, 136 imperial concubines, 3 princes and 2 princesses are buried. The first and oldest tomb is where Shunji Emperor, the first of the Qing to rule over China, was buried in 1661. The Western Qing tombs are the final resting place for 78 royal members, including 4 emperors. Yongzheng Emperor was the one who broke tradition and refused to be buried in the Eastern tombs. It was said that the reason was because he usurped the throne by eliminating his brothers, so he didn't want to be buried alongside his father. The last imperial interment was in 1913, bringing an end to the millennia-old imperial rule in China. And that was all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Leave your comments downstairs, and if you wish to do so, you can help out this channel through my Patreon page. I do hope to see you next time. Bye.